Let's get sweaty.
Hey guys, welcome to a Shenmue Dojo video. Today's video is going to be another character video, and this one is going to be focused on a character that we haven't really seen too much of, but we have talked about him quite a lot over the years, and that is of course Ziming Hong. I'm going to have a quick look at his history and potential involvement into how he will come into play with Shenmue 4 or potentially even Shenmue 5, depending on obviously how things go. So let's dive in. Let's talk about his history first and foremost. We know very much that he was raised in an orphanage with his sister Zhuing. It was in the Thousand White Orphanage over in Kowloon. He's a little bit older, and both their parents were unfortunately seemingly murdered by the Chi men. Now, in a fit of rage, Ziming goes off to join the Chi men, saying they know who killed their parents, and he's going to find this out, and he wants to essentially take vengeance on them. Obviously, Zhuing begs him not to go, and then he disappears off into the distance. But before that, he leaves his sister half of the yin and yang pendant, which she then gives to Ryo as he leaves Hong Kong to go to Guilin. And that's something, obviously, could get picked up later on in the story, and something I'm going to talk about very, very shortly. Later on, and as part of the Shenmue 2 comics off the Xbox, you can see there's a side comic there where Ziming is thinking about his sister and essentially hoping that she becomes much stronger than him. It confirms that he is indeed part of the Chi men, that he's obviously been indoctrinated into them and is working for them. And more importantly, he is one of Niao Sun's underlings, essentially. So we've then got quite an idea, with not a huge amount of material, it must be said, but quite an idea of where he's ended up. And hopefully he's going to have a bit of an impact in the story going forward, seeing as we now know that obviously Ryo's path has crossed with Niao Sun, and she has screwed over Landy with the Chi men. And with Ryo meeting Zhuing, it brought back a ton of memories for her about her brother and the exact same attitude that they both shared in seeking vengeance. So with that in mind, how does this sort of go into the story going forward? So what I'm going to be doing here for everybody quickly is I'm going to pop up on the screen chapter card 7. So here we are, guys. Here is chapter card 7. I've brought this up for a very, very specific reason. It's essentially that if you look at the bottom left-hand side of this image here, and I'll zoom it in a little bit so you can see it a tiny bit more, just here, you can see an image which is very much in keeping with Ziming's sort of presentation in the Shenmue 2 comics. So the best guess scenario is that in Shenmue 4, Ziming is likely to make an appearance, which obviously, given the sort of time frames involved here, that over 20 odd years has gone by and we still haven't really seen him, that seems to intimate that he is going to be coming up as part of Ryo's story. Now, will he know anything about Ryo? That is one question, because bearing in mind that Ryo has been causing a lot of shit for the Chi men already. He's taken down Dol Neo. He ended up in the castle fighting Landy. Niao Sun's come across him for the first time. He had the Phoenix Mirror. You'd think they'd probably have an idea about who Ryo Hazuki is. So it is going to be possible that you all know who Ryo is as part of the first meeting. How they meet, I would anticipate, just sort of judging on what I've seen, the fact he's working for Niao Sun, that he's likely to come across Ryo in some sort of confrontational aspect, be it a fight at the Cliff Temple, whatever. There's going to be some sort of confrontation that, in my mind at least, that leads Ziming and Ryo's paths to cross. At that point, be it a fight, be it Ryo defeats Ziming or the other way round, that pendant, that yin-yang pendant, that half that Ryo holds is going to come into play here. It's really got to. I'd be very, very surprised if it didn't. Again, I'll come on to a little bit why in a minute. Because, obviously, that will then give Ziming the doubt, almost, of that Ryo's come across his sister. They might get talking, and there we go from there. Now, could he be one of Ryo's trainers? Given that Ryo, as we all know, is very much lacking in his kung fu, this could be an element of Ryo's training arc, for example, that going through Shenmue 4, he's then meeting somebody else who trains him, maybe in Baji Quan, I don't know, possibly, or some other forms of martial arts. But he takes sympathy with Ryo's plight, and in order to almost sort of maybe come back towards the good path, helps Ryo, trains him, helps him defeat somebody within the Chi men, and helps Ryo towards his goal. Now, Zhuing, will she reunite with him? I think it's quite possible here. I think if you look at one of the other chapter cards, which I'm going to be bringing up on the screen for you very shortly, you will see here in the final chapter card 11, there is very much an image there, which pretty much I'm 99% sure that is Zhuing. So the chances are their paths are going to cross again in some way, shape, or form. Now, whether that's training Rio together, potentially, whether that's in a confrontational aspect, again, that could easily happen. But bearing in mind that it's felt, certainly by Zhuing, he's been lost to the evil path. He's been lost to vengeance, and she obviously doesn't want Rio to go that way. It says to me a tiny bit here that maybe Ziming's going to have some sort of redemption. Now, that could extend well beyond training Rio. And one theory that has been going on out there is that it's not Ren that's going to die, but it could be Ziming that dies. Now, bringing back the chapter card image here, if you look at chapter card number 10, you can see here what is Akira, now Rio, holding the body of somebody, a lifeless body of somebody. So that could intimate that Ziming is the one who gives up his life in order to redeem himself for the things that have gone on previously. Again, it's just a theory, it's just a thought, but that might be his way back from being lost to the evil path. It could be his way back. It could be his redemption arc going forward. Either way, I think that Ziming is going to have a big part to play here. He could also, as one other aspect, be one of the Grandmasters in chapter card 8. If you see the 4 shadows that are on the mountains there, you will note that there's 2 of them could be Zhuing and Ziming sort of teaming up together to train Rio on his final steps towards his journey, whatever that ending might be. Right, guys, that is a very sort of short analysis of Ziming. There isn't, like I say, a massive amount out there for him. We don't even know his age, weight, or anything. There's a lot of guesswork out there around him, a lot of theories out there around him. But how do you think he will come into Shenmue 4? What impact is he going to have on a Shenmue 4 in terms of the story? And what are your favourite rumours about Ziming from past, present, or even something new that you've thought up from watching this video, for example? Don't forget to give us a like, share, and subscribe, guys. And speaking of subscriptions and all the rest and bits and pieces around that, we also have the membership scheme now, guys. It's only a couple of £1 a month. You get all our sort of video content ahead of schedule outside of the podcast, which we have to keep to the premiere. So these videos that I do, you get them ahead of time. Nothing's locked behind a paywall. You get all the videos on the normal release date if you so wish to not go for that. All the money goes towards the running of the website, essentially. And thank you for the 25 of you who have signed up. So I'm going to go through the list in order now, guys. So K&K, Renners, Richard Cartledge, that's me, Carl, Terry, Stuart Peacock, Mark the Pulverizer, Little Crypty Monster, Titch, Richard King, Sean Potter, Guppy Coy, Bruce Wayne 937, Survival Spheres, Peter Hoffland, Sean Don, Wandering Through Shenmue, Phantom Riverstone, Bruce Wayne 911, Mike Franz, Manny Figueroa, Master Mo, Nick Hughes, Sean Hastings, Clunky Mage, and William Lovering. Thank you very much, guys, for being members of the dojo and helping James and I run the website. As I said, don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe on the usual channels, and I'll be back with a video in the not too distant future. But for now, guys, take care and have a good one.